The incompleteness lives in the story, not in you. The story is the disease, you are not. Every feeling of lack, every sense of not enough, every ache of I need to fix myself, it does not arise from you. It arises from the story that the mind is constantly manufacturing. The story is the thief. The story is the wound. The story is the incompleteness. You are not incomplete. The story you have been hypnotized by is incomplete. Because stories are, by their very nature, stitched together from fragments. A story can never be whole. The mind creates stories because it cannot stand stillness. Understand this. The mind hates silence. The mind hates stillness. The mind hates truth. Why? Because in silence, the mind is irrelevant. So it keeps weaving stories. She rejected me. I must prove something. I am not enough yet. One day I will become complete. I must achieve this to feel whole. Every story is an itch, and the mind convinces you that scratching it will lead to peace. But scratching the itch creates more itch. That is the design. Your sense of incompleteness is not proof of your lacking. It is proof of the story's hunger. The story wants to survive, and it survives by convincing you that you are the problem. So you chase achievements, revenge, approval, money, love, validation. All of it in the hope that one day the story will say, now you are complete. But the story never intends to give you completion, because completion would kill it. You were complete before the story began. There was a time, even if you don't remember, when you were not hunting for anything, when you were simply aware, simply being, before the mind constructed an identity out of wounds and desires. The self you think is broken does not exist. Only the story exists, and the story is broken. So what is the way out? Not by fixing the story, not by rewriting it, not by healing it. These are all the mind's gains. You step out of the story by seeing it, not fighting it, not killing it, just seeing its mechanics. When you see the story, you are no longer inside it. And the moment you are not inside it, its incompleteness can no longer infect you. Incompleteness cannot touch what is whole. You have never been broken. You have only been narrated. The story is the ghost. You are the sky. The sky is not harmed because clouds pass through it. When you feel incomplete, you assume something is wrong with me. I am missing something. I must improve, achieve, fix, win, become. This assumption is the core lie. Because the feeling of incompleteness is not coming from you. It is coming from the story that the mind keeps generating. The story is like a parasite that feeds on psychological tension. It must keep you wanting, chasing, striving, doubting, comparing, proving. A story cannot exist without movement. A story cannot exist without a not yet. So it manufactures a sensation inside you that feels like lack, because lack keeps the story alive. Your incompleteness isn't yours. It's the story's appetite. The story wants to survive, and it survives by convincing you that you are the problem. If the story said you are already whole, then the story would have no job left. It would evaporate instantly. So the story must constantly whisper, you are not enough yet. You need more. Fix this flaw. Maybe then you would be worthy. Why? Because as long as you believe you are insufficient, you keep feeding the story with effort, fear, anticipation, movement. The story thrives when you are restless. The story dies when you are still. This is why it keeps you chasing things, achievements, validation, reward. Because those pursuits give the story endless life. As long as you think there is a future version of you who will finally feel complete, the story has successfully colonized your entire psychology. Completion would kill the story. Why? Here is the essence. A story only exists when there is a problem, a gap, a desire, a conflict, a chase, a future, a becoming. If there is nothing missing, there is no story. If you feel complete, then there is nothing to chase, nothing to fix, nothing to become, no wound to heal, no future self to fantasize about. The story collapses because the story is made of incompleteness. Completion is the death of psychological narrative. Because when you feel whole, the mind loses its leverage. The identity loses its drama. The self-image loses its wound. The hero's journey of becoming is exposed as a hallucination. What remains is pure being, which needs no story. The story survives on your suffering. Just like fire survives on oxygen, the psychological story survives on unfulfilled desire, unresolved conflict, imagined futures, remembered pains, the fantasy of becoming someone. If you suddenly realized your world right now without changing anything, the fire would go out, and the mind, whose entire existence is built on chasing and resisting, would have nothing left to do. That is why it will never allow you to rest. It keeps you incomplete so it can stay alive. Let me make it even clearer. The story is a treadmill. You run, it moves. You stop, it disappears. So, the incompleteness you feel is not a flaw in you. It is the fuel of the story that the mind keeps creating. The story survives only as long as you believe something is missing. It must keep you chasing money, validation, status, love, revenge. Because the chase is its oxygen. Your sense of lack is not evidence that you are broken, it is evidence that the story is hungry. Completion would kill the story because a story cannot exist without a problem, without a gap, without a future self you are trying to become. A story is made of longing. The moment you see that you are old right now, the story loses its foundation and collapses. You were never incomplete, only the story was.